Hey, it's Lauren. So today's video is going to be a lyric analysis of the song To Be Conscious. It's song number 10 or song number 5 of the White Section. First part is all powerful yet so powerless. So much beauty yet so much ugliness. So yeah, the all powerful but so powerless, that's about, if we're as a soul, this creative being, source itself, whatever you want to call it, we're all powerful, yet we go through life, we have all these emotions and circumstances that we can't control. So how does that work? Like, if we're these all-powerful beings, then how come we seem to have so little control over our lives? And I mean, part of the answer to that is your outside circumstances don't have to determine your mood and emotions. And then once you learn that does help you step into your own power, but it's a skill and you don't have that skill overnight. So until you manage that skill, you are sort of powerless to what happens around you. So it's just, I don't get it. Like, which one am I? How can I be both? How can I be neither? I don't get it. And then the next part, so much beauty, yet so much ugliness. It's just about the world, like, you see people, they take an injured animal off the street and take them home and feed them, and yet the same humanity will take those animals and torture them in the name of some beauty product. I'm like, it's just, is humanity, like, are we the good guys or are we the bad guys? Like, what is going on? Like, there are such beautiful people, but also such cruelty, and it makes me feel like I don't know who to trust. I don't know where to be safe in this world because the range of human experience is so extreme that I don't know who I'm dealing with. All right, next part. I can't put it together. Kind of like I was saying, I was like, these disparate parts, just, I can't integrate them. It doesn't make sense. Who am I? I can't harmonize the world. I'm just one girl. This is about feeling overwhelmed with the state of the world and my life. And basically just when you feel like the whole starseed thing is a concept. Like, I don't want to get into the idea, it's like, oh, I'm here to fix everything in the world because I'm like a higher frequency. Like, that's such bullshit. Like, the only reason I relate to it is it's like, okay, I feel like I have this outsider's perspective and I see the world in a different way. And the things that people just take as normal, I'm like, wait, really? That's normal? And so it's not that I'm like better, I'm here to save everyone. It's just I'm just someone who's different, so I can just like be an example of different ways to do things that maybe people haven't thought of. It's not better, it's just different. So the reason, like, maybe my purpose here is kind of like harmonizing the duality, the good and the bad, like integration, right? Integrating the light and the dark aspects. And I'm like, I can't do it. I can't harmonize. It's too disparate, these frequencies. Who am I? I can't harmonize the world. I'm just one girl. Definitely speaks to self-esteem, especially since I use the word girl and I'm like almost 30. Also, girl more goes with world, sort of. But still. But it's this idea of feeling insecure, feeling like you're not up to your purpose in this life. You're not up to not even your purpose, but just functioning in this world. Like, you just can't take it anymore, but there's nowhere for you to go. Next part. This is also about that duality, those disparate parts and frequencies. It says, swinging from the dark to the light, from enlightenment to suicide. Switching between those, of this really like, enlightened, like, oh, it's all from within, to like screaming because of some little thing that triggered my OCD. And then from enlightenment to suicide. So it's all this thing of, oh, the soul lives on forever and we're eternal beings. We could be a tree, we could be an alien, all this stuff. And then like, just, I don't participate in life anymore. Like, not just my life, not just me. I mean, being anyone, being anything, like I just don't want to participate in existing anymore. It's kind of the core of where this song is going. And then wanting to forgive or take revenge, wanting to be dead or wanting to live again. So wanting to forgive or take revenge. I'm really not like the revenge type. It's really irrational. The only time I've wanted someone, and it was never like hurting anyone, it was just like I want someone, like that other song, reflect the karma back. I want them to feel the way I feel so that they understand. But that's like I have to be like so emotionally hurt with no way out to even think that way. And then this idea of like, can I forgive them or can I not? And then wanting to be dead or wanting to live again. Yeah. That one's pretty self-explanatory, but yeah, I did not want to exist at the time that I wrote this. Like, suicide wasn't even enough. Like, I didn't want to exist as anything, as anyone, a rock, a tree, a plant, an alien, an angel, anything. And that's the one thing in the universe that pretty much can't happen, because as long as you have a soul, you exist. So, switching between that motivation to start my life anew and better life and just not wanting to participate in existence at all. Next part, can't be whole without the dark. So loving and accepting that those dark parts of yourself that society or your parents or people told you were unacceptable, so you buried. Reject your fears, reject your heart. So basically, when we reject our fears, they don't go away. They're just buried into our subconscious. So when something is buried into your subconscious, it will control your behavior, but not consciously. So it's going to be really hard to manage. And it's going to interfere with your ability to live your life and follow your heart and go towards love, because you're too busy running away from fear, but convincing yourself that you're going towards love. Like maybe someone, I want to go to college to get an education and a stable job, all this stuff. Is that what they want? Are they following their heart? Or are they running away from fear and all the fear of not living up to other people's expectations and fear of being rejected by society if they don't follow a conventional path? Taurus. It says, I'm sick of being all this light. It's burning me from the inside. So the first part of this is kind of a spiritual kind of like frequency thing, that higher frequencies are actually toxic to lower frequencies. That's why the sun burns people. I know that sounds really like, okay, Lauren, yeah, okay, that's interesting. But I do believe it's true. So like if someone was abused and they haven't dealt with it, they like can't handle a loving relationship. Or like if someone's like used to like chaos and disorder and destruction when their life is good, like they can't take it. And I've definitely like experienced that. Like when things are good on the outside, sometimes my emotional state gets worse because I'm not like adapted to being happy. So then when I have all the reasons to be happy, my brain just like doesn't understand what to do. And so this idea that this wonderful light, this happiness is actually like hurting me because I'm not tanned and used to it. Or like evolved and used to having it, because everything is what you're used to. You don't use it, you lose it. And if you are never happy, you lose the ability to be happy. And this isn't about normal emotional reactions to things. I mean, like being angry if someone crosses a boundary, being sad. Like this is when you're creating those emotions from the inside constantly. Like using negative emotions to get through the day and creating it from the inside no matter what the external is. It's very different from feeling an emotion. And then it goes, I have evolved in the darkness of the mind. I'm sick of pulling from the dark. The gravity can help me rest. This is about this thing we have against resting. I mean, like, being lazy is the worst thing someone could be. You need to have a balance of activity and rest. More isn't better. And I was like way on the activity side, and I physically couldn't rest anymore. It was like really almost impossible for me to, because I was just so wired all the time. And because I basically trained myself to never let myself rest in hopes that I'd be more successful and I'd be a hard worker and be happy was the ultimate goal. But I literally trained my body to operate in a state of suffering and lose the ability to rest. And the gravity can help me rest. Yeah, like sometimes when you feel burned out and tired and dead, there's probably a reason. And sometimes it is good to push through, but not all the time. Sometimes that makes it worse. So it's really a judgment call. And our society definitely goes towards, oh, no matter how bad you feel, keep going. It's pretty unfair, especially if you have any kind of like debilitating illness, especially if it's been invalidated or if it doesn't fit neatly into a box. People assume it's your character. It's like, the gravity can help me rest because it knows I no longer want to be conscious. I'm trying to give myself permission to rest because it was beyond not wanting to live anymore. It was not wanting to exist. And I still felt guilty for resting. Like, how much worse than it could it get? And I still felt guilty. I'm trying to like wrap my brain around how irrational it is to push yourself and work hard when you're so unhappy you don't want to exist anymore. Doesn't make sense. A lot of things in society don't make sense. All right, next verse. All powerful, also powerless. Okay, so the first time I did all powerful yet so powerless, and then this time I did all powerful, also powerless. Because in the first verse I separated them. I'm like, okay, am I powerful or powerless? And this is basically like, oh, I'm powerful and powerless. They can operate together. Because two things that are contradictory can both be true. It's kind of like this. It's like, yes, we're responsible for our emotions and our emotional state, but also we have biological wired triggers to certain events for survival. So it's like, yes, we have to manage our emotional state, but also like, I mean, there are chemicals going off in my body it's like not my fault that I feel this way. There are reasons for it. And so it's both true. It's like, yes, I'm a victim of my emotions, but also I'm responsible for managing them. And both are true, even though they contradict. And then there is beauty in all this ugliness. Same thing. Things can be beautiful and ugly. And you can find beauty in the ugliness. I mean, how many epic stories have been so tragic? I mean, that's classic finding beauty in ugliness. Also things like sweater vests and cargo pants. Like, do you look at them and like they're pretty? Or those like Doc Martens? Like, that is the epitome of beauty in ugliness. So much art has such dark themes of tragedy, and yet there's beauty in it. And I'm not justifying the pain, but I'm just trying to see the beauty in the imperfection of the human experience, and how maybe sometimes these negative hurts and emotions can bring people together in ways they wouldn't have normally and actually create more love because there's more empathy. Ideally, it does not always work like that. And then this is the same part, again, swinging from the dark to the light, from enlightenment to suicide, wanting to forgive or take revenge, wanting to be dead or wanting to live again. None of the lyrics are changed. All right, and then it goes, can't be whole without the dark, which is the same, and then this part's different. Can't move on without your heart. The other one was reject your fears, reject your heart, which is about either choosing to live by love or fear. And then this one is can't move on without your heart. A life lived without emotions is meaningless and dry and dead. And you could have a dull experience of putting your laundry away and just feeling productive and accomplished and relaxed in your home with your fuzzy socks. Or you could be on a stage in front of millions of people and just feel completely dead inside. Our external environment doesn't necessarily correlate with our internal environment all the time. And I think that's why celebrities, when they get famous and reach that height of fame, it didn't solve the problems that made them want to seek that fame in the first place, but there's nowhere higher to go. They've reached the top and they just don't know what to do. Drugs. And then this is the same. I'm sick of being all this light. It's burning me from the inside. I have evolved in the darkness of the mind. Your brain and body and personality functions in what you've been brought up and evolved to, which is why sometimes even a positive change doesn't feel positive because it's not what you're used to. If you've had a lot of trauma and then your life gets good on the outside, people create it. It's the classic trope of like someone's dad was emotionally unavailable and then that person grows up and then finds a partner that's emotionally unavailable. It's like they grew up, they escaped the situation, then they created it. Is it a subconscious thing of like, okay, I want to fix it? Or is the person just recreating what they're used to because it's how they evolved? They evolved in that kind of dark place. I'm sick of pulling from the dark. The gravity can help me rest because it knows I no longer want to be conscious. It's kind of this idea of the gravity of the black hole pulling you towards it. And you're so afraid, you're afraid. Oh, I'm going to die. Oh my gosh, I'm nothing. I'll be nothing. But it's just trying to help you rest and go on so that life can feel better. And then at the end it says, is it worth it to be conscious, to be conscious? And that's just the debate of when I wrote the song, like, is life worth it? And I don't just mean life on Earth as me, I mean life as anyone on any planet, as any animal, as a tree, as a rock. Is this worth it? And it's a really dark place to be, and I still am partially there. So if you're seeing this, I achieved a huge goal of like getting the 10 songs out in the 10 videos. And it's not perfect, but I did it. And I'm really having trouble feeling proud of myself. Like it just feels like nothing. Like I work so hard to accomplish something, and then when I accomplish it, it feels like nothing because that's what my brain is used to. Like that's a prime example of why I wrote this song. I'm hoping it'll sink in eventually that I did do something. So I'm going to take a break from this kind of content for a little bit and gonna do 4 new videos in January, hopefully, on the moon cycles, because that's my thing. If you didn't notice that, like I put the little moon things before each like song and video. So I'm not really sure what kind of content, let me know maybe, but I'm definitely gonna have like a skating vlog, maybe like some health stuff, maybe morning routine, night routine, I don't know, so we'll see. But yeah, thanks so much for listening. I hope eventually someone sees this and someone relates to it. Thanks so much. Bye.